Hello and welcome back to a new Skype Sanctuary. And on this wonderful episodic day, which hopefully now I'm gonna make it monthly at the very least. That's what I'm hoping. We're doing with something that I really wanted to do, and I really wanted to do it so much that I found out that TJ had already done it. We're doing a discussion with the third season starting up in April. I've got me, TJ, and then with us Ryan and Derek to talk about My Hero Academia.
I believe you mean Boku no Hero Academia.
You freaking weeb.
Boku no My Hero Academia.
I watched the dub, so no.
So as Stefan alluded, I've already done this, and I did it with Ryan and MBM. So I told Ryan
back again.
I told Ryan off mic that there was a reason why we've done this and haven't posted it. So when did we do that, Ryan? Wasn't it
like 2 months ago?
Okay. So probably not 24 hours after we did that, my computer completely shit the bed.
Oh no.
And I took it to a laptop repair place, and they looked at it for a couple days, and the guy was like, "We're gonna have to do like a system restore. Do you want to do the it was like $50 for a complete file transfer?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." Because I knew there wasn't like that much that I needed, but it would still be nice to carry over my files. So they have it for a week. They finally give it back to me. I bring it home, and there is someone else's files on my computer.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
Find the foreign folder.
So I called the place, and the guy was like, "There's no way that could happen." And I was like, "I don't care what you're saying that there's no way it could happen, because it happened." And he goes, "Well, how do you know those aren't your files?" And I was like, "Because I purchased this computer in 2014, and there's files from 2012 on here."
Why would he even ask, how do you know it's your
yeah,
files? It's
you know your files.
Then he tried to blame me, and he was like, "Well, you bought a new computer when it was actually used." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's the files are gone forever.
Somebody else has them. They're out there. We just don't know where.
Some dork recorded a podcast about some dumb anime. It's on someone else's computer.
Some dumb anime, you mean the best anime?
That's okay. The best anime, yes, but
well,
One Piece is still
the
better.
the best shonen since One Piece started.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Well, I don't know much about shonen. I'm more into the whole Marvel, DC, just superhero Western stuff, and just.
So you mean My Hero
like,
Academia?
Yeah, just looking at it as a Western superhero story. This is one of the best I've ever seen. Period.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
And that's why it's so great. It's basically Western superheroes mixed with Shonen Jump fare.
I can attest to how well it adapts this type of storytelling, because I took an entire room filled with people who aren't really fans of anime or manga, but are giant fans of superheroes, and I was like, this is the most pure superhero storytelling I've ever seen. And I sat them down to watch the first 3 episodes, and we ended up watching 9.
Man, I can't believe you guys stopped at episode 9. I would have thought they would have wanted to keep going at that point.
Yeah, you only had 3 more for season 1.
It was like 2 a.m.
You're weak.
But that was right when you get to the good stuff.
I know.
It's like My Hero. It's kind of like how One Punch Man is like a very good DC story. My Hero Academia is like a very good Marvel story, because it's essentially like Spider-Man crossed with X-Men, really.
Kind
some-
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
a little bit,
Kinda.
except the
Kinda.
hero, like, it's if the mutants were well respected and everybody wanted to be one.
And All Might is basically just an XP of Superman in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I actually think
With
that
some Captain America in there.
No, I with a little bit. I've seen
Yeah.
like the best thing I've seen about that is All Might is essentially All-Star Superman, just adapted in a manga form.
Yeah, I can see
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to do it.
All right, should we go and just first start by saying our introductions to the series?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Let's start with TJ, because, he probably has been with it the longest, I think.
Which is weird because I don't even remember where I saw it, but I know that I heard about it somewhere, and I remember what it was. I was watching a YouTuber that I follow, and he was talking about it was like a really clickbait video, and it was like the top 10 pop culture franchises in Japan, and apparently, like, I want to say last year, One Piece was like dethroned from the top spot. I mean, it was number 2 at like a really close margin, but still, like, that was the reason I watched the video. And I think My Hero Academia was like, it was in the top 10, but I don't know where. And I was like, what the hell is My Hero Academia? And so I told my friend about it because I started to read like little blurbs about it. And he was like, oh yeah, I watched the whole first season. It's on Funimation. So I got like my free month of the subscription. And yeah, I've been subscribed to it ever since because I binge watched the entire freaking show.
Yeah, I see. I'm actually longer than you then, but go on.
Yeah, because then like two weeks after I finished the first season, the second season was starting. So it was very fortuitous, like, when I started to get into it.
Yeah, I see.
That is
Yeah,
the best timing.
that's good timing. Yeah. As far as my timing goes, I'm basically like the anime guy of people I'm friends with for the most part, so I keep up with current season stuff. Now, I saw this on like AniChart and all that says of an upcoming anime, so I looked at the blurb and saw it was Shonen Jump. So I'm like, okay, that seems interesting. I'll give it a shot. I'll look at the manga a little bit. So I look at my manga sites and kind of read a few chapters and I'm like, hey, this is rather good. So I started watching it as it was coming out simulcast, and more or less just kind of fell in love with it. Because, my first love as far as superheroes go as a kid is, the DC animated universe.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's with its more kind of character-driven story, while it has plenty of action, it's more character-driven and an ongoing story. Each episodes are individualized in a lot of ways, but it keeps a lot of ongoing story elements. So this reminded me a lot of that when it was first starting out, so I just fell in love with the series. And it has been no stopping since.
Understandably so. I'm probably the most recent out of all of us. I kept hearing everybody talk about the show, especially when the second season was going on. Oh my, Twitter was lighting up about the show as season 2 was going through, and I heard about some of the characters and how some of the great details and how the author which just had these great touches to him about how he was handling certain things and like paying attention to. It's been a while since I've watched, and I have not rewatched it since, so I'm going to be very rough with some of the names. But the main girl, who's always
Ochako.
Say again.
Uraraka.
Oh, Uraraka. See, all you guys said it at once, and it sort of ended up into a mishmash. I'm like, what? Yeah, sure, that character. Yeah, Uraraka, that's right. Yeah, like how she was holding something very specifically so not to make it levitate. Just details like that. I was like, okay, that's some really interesting care and detail. And I'm curious. Like, I've heard good things. And so, this past Christmas season came around, and I've been in the mood to get back into anime for a while now, and I was like, all right, let's get the latest season, the first season. It's on Blu-ray now. I'll pick it up. I like supporting the release. I've heard good things. I feel pretty confident in this purchase. Yeah, I binged it in like 2 days. Like, I started up like, okay, this is good. It's like, I should go do work. I'd go do a little bit of work. It's like, okay, I'm going to go watch it again. Like, I just kept going back to it until I finally finished the show. Like as busy as my schedule was, I had to just keep coming back and watching the whole thing. And then I finished season 1, and I'm like, I immediately looked up, okay, when's season 2 coming out on Blu-ray? Oh, it's not for a while. Screw that. Go on Funimation's website, and I see that season 2's finished by that point, so I could watch it after the fact. I just have to deal with a bunch of ads, so I did that, and just completely absorbed it the entire time. And I love the experience the entire way through, and with me getting back into anime, got myself I had got a Crunchyroll thing, but it did the whole 2-week thing, and then everybody was like, no, you should just get Verve. And when I saw that Funimation was part of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get Verve because I can actually have Funimation along with it, and I've watched it dubbed the entire time. I want my dub, and I hear it doesn't take long for it to come out after the Japanese release.
Depends on the show. It can usually be about 5-ish weeks.
Really? That long?
3 to 5, depending on what the show is.
Well, for My Hero Academia, the first arc, the sports festival, that was coming out simulcast, and then after
it was second season of Hero Aka, so they had all the actors already for cast and into the roles.
They did have some that they had to replace, but once they got to like the midway point of the season, they ended up taking a 2-week break. And so the dub was 2 weeks behind the sub.
Oh, man. Well, it looks like I'm going to be watching sub and dub this season. I can't wait that long.
I know, right?
For me, it was basically kind of similar to what Derek was.
It was me telling you.
Well, that I remember technically. Well, around when season 2 was starting, I would watch. I'd see everyone talk about it on Twitter. I'm like, this looks really cool. I want to watch it, but because I'm like a dumbass and take forever to watch something, I didn't. And I think technically the first time I watched it was at TMG when you were watching an episode on your phone, and I was like watching a bit of it with you.
Yep.
I think it was the one when they're making their names.
Yep.
That was the first thing I saw of it. And so it then took me until September when I was at a convention and I saw they had the Blu-ray of season 1 on sale. So I'm like, screw it, let me grab it. I grabbed it, and it took me until December to finally start watching it.
Oh my god.
Because school was a pain, and I'm like, I'm gonna end up binging this, so let me wait until I have like nothing else to do. So I did it, and yep, I went through the whole season in like about a couple days. Then I went online, watched all of season 2 in a few days, and then after that, I was like, I need more. So I've been slowly going through the manga. So I'm about like chapter 130 out of about 170 something.
Yeah, I'm all caught up on the manga.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm at a.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm at the point that would probably be season 4-ish in the manga.
Oh,
Probably,
wow. I didn't realize the manga was that far ahead. That's awesome.
Well, the nice part is that companies have finally learned that it's good not to just do like individual seasons per year rather than keep it going forever now and do filler all the time.
Mm-hmm. People recognize that the people want quality now rather than just constant.
Yeah.
Season 2 ends at the end of volume 8, and there are currently about 19 volumes worth of story released.
Oh man, that's awesome. Like I'm so happy that they have that much. Like we can easily get into season 4 very quickly.
Oh yeah.
From what I've heard, I think what they're doing is that all the odd number seasons are going to be 13 episodes, and then all the even number seasons are going to be 25 episodes.
What?
I don't.
I mean, that'd be fine. I think depending on how they want to handle the next arc or two, they could do that in one season.
Yeah, like I have a feeling. I have a strong feeling of what season 3 is going to be, and especially because they also have the movie coming out, so it makes sense why they only do 13 episodes. It's like, yeah, I understand. Especially like this season finale is going to be a big one.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Especially if it's going to end where manga readers think it's going to end.
But we can't talk about it because
yeah, exactly, because I'm here. Shoot, I should have read the manga. Oh well.
Yeah, what I'm thinking about doing is that after season 3 is done, do another discussion that like talks about all of the manga, like the feel like way like to the current like
season 3 and beyond.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, right now just want to talk about the first 2 seasons, the first 2 seasons in manga, and just the series in general, the characters, the story, what have you.
Okay, who's everybody's favorite character?
There's so many.
There's a lot.
I'm gonna go with I've got like 4, I think. let's see, Midoriya, Uraraka, Suyu, and Todoroki. I know that those are like some of the like easy answers, but I don't care. I love them.
I mean, that's the main cast. That's respectable.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then technically, if I was adding one more, I would have probably put Ida as well. Which would be, it's basically all of the main cast except for the one who I won't talk about until later, because I've got some choice words for him.
Okay.
He seems to be an interesting... There's a very split decision on him, so that's something.
There'll still be something
Yeah.
to talk about.
I would say mine are All Might. I mean, everyone likes Midoriya because he's also the main character, and we see everything through his eyes.
Yeah.
Tsuyu, and trying to think of like a fourth I would really like. I mean, it's kind of just those three right now.
Mm-hmm.
Suyu is so good that she gets to have a filler episode all to herself, and we don't care.
That
That's
was
true.
actually an original like side plot for the manga that the author decided to cut because it kind of broke up the flow of the story at the time.
Mm.
Which is fine, because
Yeah.
I actually that was a very good filler episode.
Yeah.
And also, she had her backstory in the second OVA.
Yeah,
I've not seen any of the OVAs.
the Frog Family.
The OVAs are fun. Like, I like the second one, which is Training of the Dead, is a really funny one.
Is the OVAs on Funimation, or because I've not seen those?
No, they haven't been dubbed.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen them either, Derek.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's okay.
I
Okay,
had to do
Derek,
some snooping
fess
to
up.
find them.
Who's- All right, who's your favorite character, Derek?
Favorite character? Honestly, it's really just because of season 2, because he doesn't do much in the first season. I love Tokoyami. He has such an interesting design,
Hell yes.
and he has this like such a serious attitude.
You mean Hiroaka's Batman?
Yes, pretty much.
Birdman!
Like it is so like he has an interesting power. I like how his shadow form is kind of like the complete opposite of him. Has this like
Oh, yeah.
super confidence to him, and seeing him partner up with the different students is really interesting. Like I loved seeing him battle against one of the professors with Suyu. Like that was really interesting seeing them work together and seeing his weaknesses, but see how like I would not expect Frog Girl to be like one of the best characters and be one of the like stronger ones out there, you know?
Well, the nice part is that the author has a very good sense of power balance with all the characters, which is very hard to do in a superhero kind of show.
It is. And I was, especially when I saw that, because again, I went in here blind, and when I saw that Izuku was getting All Might's power and basically super strength on the face value sense, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be very standard and kind of boring. But when he's like having to struggle, like figuring out how to control this power to the point where using it destroys his body, that is really freaking interesting. And it's really cool in season 2 when he actually starts learning how to control it.
It feels so satisfying when it finally gets to like halfway through season 2 and he meets Gran Torino and he finally figures out how to use the power like without hurting himself. It's like so satisfying. It's like, yes, now you can finally do stuff.
Except it's nowhere near enough to be on All Might's level still.
No.
Well,
No.
yeah, but it's like obviously.
But he's getting there.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing how they use all of them. And honestly, if I know we're kind of all over the place with this, but probably my favorite episode is the race.
Yes.
That is
that was such a
probably
good
my
episode.
favorite episode because I loved how Izuku was able to compete without using his power at all.
Mhm.
His strongest power is his brain.
Yeah. And I saw you mention this before on Twitter, Ryan, but you're right. It is nice to actually have a shonen protagonist be smart.
Yeah, he's the first like really smart shonen protagonist we've gotten since, ironically, kind of as far as the battle stuff goes, since Ichigo Kurosaki and Bleach. Because everyone's just kind of ever since Goku, everyone's just call it and follow the template of varying levels of our lovable idiot hero.
Yeah, who's just very passionate, but uses
Yeah.
that passion to protect his friends.
Yeah. I mean, Naruto sort of gets out of that funk a little bit later, towards the end of the series, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
it was-
Midoriya still has some of that goof. He's still a goof. He's still kind of
Yeah. I talked to a girl, didn't actually say anything.
yeah, that's a great moment.
the muttering is still my favorite. Anytime that happens.
Midoriya, you're being gross.
And I like his relationship with Uraraka, and I forget his name, but the belly button laser guy talking to Uraraka and how she
Aoyama.
Yeah.
Aoyama. Yeah.
like that's pretty fun. That's pretty funny stuff, and like how she's coming to realization about how much she actually likes him. And I don't know, I like that kind of stuff.
They're so adorable.
I wish there was more of it. Like that's my only criticism of the series. I wish there was more of, because I mean they're kids in essentially high school, so you would think there would be more. Like, I want there because there was, I don't know where the art actually came from. I'm assuming it came from Shonen Jump, but there was art where they were in like dance outfits, like formal dance outfits. So I want that to be like a mini arc where they have to find dates and stuff like that. That'd be really cute.
The prom arc.
A prom arc, yeah. I mean, they could totally pull that kind of thing off.
Not to go into really spoilers, but the manga just got into what's going to be the school festival, so maybe they'll do something like that kind of later or after that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Excuse to get the girls into kimonos. We've already had the excuse to get them into cheerleaders' outfits.
Oh my god. I hate Mineta so much.
Oh, everyone
Everybody
hates.
does.
But you're supposed to hate Mineta.
That's basically what. Yeah, that's basically why he exists.
He's
Hey TJ, who's your favorite character in My Hero Academia? Oh, thanks for asking, TJ. It's Kirishima. Just
Kirishima's a cool one.
Along with his rivalry with Tetsu.
I love the first time that happened. I like screamed. I was like,
I'm
"Oh
trying to
my
remember
God."
Kirishima. Which one was he?
Kirishima's the rock guy.
Oh,
Red
right.
hair.
Oh my god,
And
how
then
they keep running into each
Tetsu.
other. Yeah.
Tetsu is just the metal guy whose powers are almost exactly the same.
I know. That's so brilliant. That is so good.
All of the characters, like there's like all 20 of the characters, even when like some of them you don't see more than others, but it's like you still like, they all have really cool designs, they all have really cool powers, and you get enough with each of them that you're able to like them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to see more of the, ironically, see more of the Invisible Girl. Like,
Yes, please.
Yeah.
she seems really interesting.
She has a good moment coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, she doesn't get enough. She doesn't get a lot of screen time.
Yeah, Todoroki took good care of me. Crap, I didn't even realize she was there. I totally could have killed her.
I loved that.
Like I understand why they do it. It's because it's like, oh, it's kind of hard to draw something that isn't there. But it's also like, but isn't that easier then? Like, you don't actually have to draw a character design. You just have to draw like a bubble over nothing.
Yeah.
Just have a whole story centered around her. It'll be like the fastest thing to draw.
That's the Toriyama way.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
Speaking
goodness.
of like secondary characters, there's a couple that I really like. Okay, the one secondary character that I really like that I like the way that their power works is it Sato?
Tape Man.
No, that's Sero.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sato's the like the hulky guy.
Oh, the Sugar Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where
I can't remember if
he's
have
scared
they-
of bugs and.
No, that's the animal
That's
talking
Coda.
guy. That's Coda.
Oh right.
We're
Okay,
talking about the
the-
guy with like the big lips who eats sugar to power up.
That's it. I remember him now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask Derek if they I couldn't remember if that had been explained yet. But yeah, how he has to consume sugar and it powers up his super strength. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is really great.
I'd say my favorite minor character right now is probably Jiro, just because of how sassy she is.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Jiro too.
That's
Earjack,
earlobe
right?
girl, right?
Yeah.
Earphone
Ear
Jack.
Yeah, earphone Jack. Yeah, she's pretty great too. I also like how she sometimes the girls are what makes Minetta's scenes work. Like, I hate Minetta, but the reactions you get from the girls can be pretty good. Like, I like how she's not meant. Like, she's like, why wasn't I mentioned when I think they were trying to?
Or when Netta's going over how sexy individual they all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, those are fun moments, and yeah,
and anytime he interacts with Froppy. She just slaps him with her tongue.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I do agree with you, TJ. I realized who Aizawa is now, the homeroom professor. Right?
Wait, when did I mention Aizawa?
Did you mention? I could have sworn you said Aizawa. I'm a couple months out from this, and I've only watched it once through, I don't have the characters down anymore.
I do love Aizawa too. I think
Aizawa is great.
He might be my second favorite character.
He's
such a snarky asshole.
Yeah, and his commentary through the school festival was great. Like when he was watching the fights. Man.
Oh, I just remembered who. Yeah, of the more minor characters, my favorite's probably Mina.
Yeah, Mina's great also.
Mina.
She has just a cool the alien queen. Or Pinky.
Oh, yeah.
She has just a really cool design, and I love her just kind of like energy, and she has a cool power.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's also a great thing about that. I can't remember the author's name, but he took the time to come up with like the auxiliary secondary powers you need to wield these things. Like Mina has to have that pink, really slick skin to use her power, otherwise she would, burn herself off.
Yeah.
So he bothered to come up with all these, with all the necessary secondary powers you need to wield these things.
Yeah, I mean, we've only slightly mentioned him yet, but I like how he explained Bakugo's power. It's his sweat, and that's why he has the big grenades. Like, I thought, when I first saw that design before I even watched the show, I was like, okay, that's striking, but why the hell? I mean, okay, it's
everything has purpose.
Yeah, it's really great.
I believe someone brought it up earlier, but it had to be pointed out to me that whenever Uraraka is drawn holding something, she always has her pinky out to make sure it doesn't levitate.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, so does what's the bad guy's name? The main bad guy.
Shigaraki.
Shigaraki.
Yeah.
He does the same thing, so he doesn't disintegrate anything.
Yeah. Oh man.
I never noticed that.
It's such great attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
I love hand face.
I love
Mr. Facepalm.
The author has a note in one of the volumes where I think it was probably the first volume that Shigaraki showed up in, and he was like, first time I drew Shigaraki, I was like, wow, this is such a good design.
And now I hate drawing
Then I realized how many times I had to draw hands.
And now I hate him.
So many hands.
Yep, that makes sense. Although I will say I love Stain's design.
Oh yeah,
Stain's
he's great.
Okay. I think my favorite thing about Stain is once again his attention to detail and the homage that he pays to Western comics. Because
he's the Image comic.
He's the Punisher.
Yeah, or Spawn or whoever.
He's the Punisher. He has a lot of like Spawn type features. He also slightly looks like a Ninja Turtle, so he's kind of like that very edgy 90s comics kind of like rolled into one character.
Yeah.
And I love how out of place he is in regards to that as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all the like the emo people are the ones who love him the most and worship him.
You haven't seen her much, but you'll become a fan of I can't remember Toga in next season.
I love Toga so much.
The girl that wants to join up.
Yeah, the slasher smile girl.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna love her next season.
Who in the dub is voiced by the English voice actor for Kobayashi in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which just blew my mind. And that's hilarious, and it's gonna make the next seasons really weird.
I've not seen that show, but I'm imagining very sweet girl.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of something along those lines, my buddy was in town this weekend, and he wanted us to watch an episode of Super.
Mm-hmm.
And we were watching it, and I was like, Krillin has a weird voice. And someone was like, isn't that Luffy's voice actress? Oh my god, it is!
Wait, Krillin? Krillin does not. Oh wait. You were watching sub.
Yeah, I was
Super.
watching the
Okay.
sub.
Yeah, Krillin's Japanese voice is the same as Luffy's.
But here's something that's connected. The dub voice of, I think it's Kaba in Super is Midoriya. Which is funny because Vegeta is
Chris
Sabat,
Sabat.
who is...
Oh yeah, and Chris Sabat's dub voice of All Might was perfect casting.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
supreme. Like his fatherly voice is so good for that.
Speaking of which, so almost all the Straw Hats except for Robin have roles in My Hero Academia.
Oh,
Yep.
that's amazing.
So Luffy
'Cause Suns-
is Yaoyorozu.
Yeah, Colin Big Beard.
Zoro is All Might.
Oh wow.
Sunny Straight is Usopp and President Mike.
Yep. Nami is Uraraka. Sanji is Shigaraki.
I keep forgetting that's Eric Vale.
Yeah. Chopper is Mineta.
Oh god.
Frankie is Endeavor. And Brooke is Shoji.
Oh, okay. Did not realize that.
Shoji is completely different from Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was it was weird for me because I was aware of the actor, but I hadn't heard him anything official. So just Justin Briner as Izuku. I'm most familiar with him from TFS's Final Fantasy Machina Bridge, where he plays Cloud, and it is like he's kind of like the whipping boy in that series. So it was really weird going from this like very silly version of Justin Briner's acting to basically taking that same voice and using him for Izuku and still making it work. Like, he's a really good Izuku. He does a fantastic job.
He's good at nervous mumbling
Yeah.
and tripping over his own voice. And
very
what I
good
love
at that.
what I love most about Sabat as All Might is that he makes his fully powered voice and his kind of skinny voice, like they both sound really different, like on it, like to the point where if I didn't know that he was doing both, I would have thought they were by different people.
I do really. Essentially, his All Might is just his Armstrong.
Essentially.
Well, his powered up All Might anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, just as a thematic thing, it's just perfect casting because Sabat is basically the longest tenured actor Funimation has, and a lot of not like all of them, but a lot of the kids are newer actors. So in a way, it's continuing that passing on the torch motif All Might has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually really happy to find out that TJ's favorite character, I forget his name off seven, but the rock guy, Kirishima, he's voiced by Justin Cook, who I will always have a soft spot in my heart just because of him playing Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh, now I might have to watch Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Justin Cook is like great in Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like an early dub, but he nails Yusuke so well. It's like just this badass troublemaker, and
Which is weird because Chris Sabat's in that too as Kuwabara.
yeah, he is Kuwabara.
Of all the voices, the one I find myself liking the most, I really like Ida's voice. It reminds me a lot of like kind of like Dan Green-ish.
A little
Has, like,
bit.
a very like that kind of tone, but I think it works really well because he can do that like stoic, like proud, like leadership stuff, but he can also be really goofy at the same time.
I'm kind of shocked how well Ida works, because this is a stock character from all appearances. Like, I've seen this type of uptight, glasses wearing, formal, good family background in anime a lot, and Ida still stands out from that type of background for the others. And I think what helped a lot, even before this his own arc, he did stand out, but man, the Stain arc really did a lot of favors for Ida, and really showing his backstory and his motivation, and like, you felt for him, like, you really did.
He just tries so hard. You're just like, yes, do it. You could do it. Which that's basically like everyone in the show was just, you can do it. Yes, do it.
Well, I mean, what makes Ito work, I think, is that he tries so hard, but he's not totally respected in the same way that he kind of wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone relies on him, but you get the feeling that they don't, like, respect him as much as they do, kind of like, Izuku, or once he kind of gets his heel face turned, Todoroki.
Yeah. Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense. Like, he's not as powerful, so you don't respect him as much, but he is good at what he does. And I like how his friendship with Izuku is basically just because he misinterpreted his powers from the testing phase. But it still became a genuine thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the test was a fun thing at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way the show like has been handling like from this story to this story to this story, and how each of the how the events in each story leading into the other, like, it flows really well, and it's like what actually happens. It's like you're really invested into it. Like the 12 episode tournament arc. It's like normal. It's like sometimes you get, because I don't watch a lot of anime, but I hear a lot of people are like, oh, tournament arc.
Tournament arc.
Oh man, the biggest tournament arc I've ever, like, I think half of Yu Yu Hakusho is a tournament arc, or close to it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you have the Dark Tournament. Mm-hmm. You have like a shorter arc with Shunsui, and then you have the Demon King Tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot of tournaments in here, but the thing is, the Dark Tournament is a really damn good arc. Like, they make each of those fights interesting.
And another thing we could thank Dragon Ball for.
Yeah. Everybody loves the tournaments.
What I think makes this one stand out the most is because they spend so much of it on Todoroki, and that his story is so goddamn good. That you want to keep watching.
It also helps that it subverts expectations, where it's not just main hero versus his main rival in the end, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like almost every single fight has some level of character development. So you're still getting like all these different characters who are having some sort of development, and like Brian said, it's not just the main character.
Yeah.
It's just fun seeing these characters do something. Mm-hmm. It's like normally in like most other shows you'd like skip basically every fight or every like whatever because you just want to focus on the main characters. But I love how you get like a bunch of episodes dedicated to each of the characters, like their own like fighting things, and then you also like each of their battles, and then later on in the season when you have their the midterm exam, and you see each of the midterm exams, and you're like, yeah, we want to see them because we want to see what these characters do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you're glad that they have that time to do that.
That actually, yeah, that I liked how in the anime they actually took some time to show some exams that weren't shown in the manga, and I was like, this is filler that I can get behind.
Yeah, it's stuff that could be expanded upon. It's not just let's put in this arc in between all this other stuff that doesn't fit whatsoever, and it's obvious padding.
Yep.
Yeah. I was almost hoping they would expand on the internships a bit more, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because we get some of them, like we get Tsuyu's own filler episode, and we see a few of them here and there, but we don't see most of the cast like doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Or they're just not even on screen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I definitely could have used an episode of Kirishima and Tetsu.
or a Bakugo at Best Genius.
Oh God,
yes.
That was fantastic.
I like Momo and what's her face with
the girl from class 2. Wait,
class 1B.
Yeah, 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where we're there with the girl, and Momo's like in complete denial of what they're doing.
Oh, it's all about the fashion aspect. It's great.
Where she's like, oh, do you know why I picked you two? Because you're cute.
All right, so Stefan doesn't like Bakugo at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he wins every popularity poll.
I don't get the reason why I don't like Bakugo is not really so much as a character per se, like the way he's written and like the fact that he exists as a character, I'm fine with, because I know you need that kind of character and he works well with that role.
The Vegeta type.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I hate is that so many people love him and like praise him and like they're like, we must protect him and all that stuff. He's like a precious boy, and I'm like, this motherfucker emotionally and physically abused Midoriya for how many years? Literally the first episode.
I think he grows out of it early enough, at least as far as the abusive part of Midoriya.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you have to realize is that he is ultimately, I think, a good person. He wants to do the right thing because he still wants to be a hero. He just had a lot of early on of big fish, small pond, so he has a very, very big head.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like, I don't really think that. I think in general he kind of has the idea of that. He has the idea of that, oh, I'm a good guy because I want to fight villains, but he doesn't actually care about people. He doesn't really want to save people. He doesn't like.
No, it's weird. He's a combat-oriented hero, which suits him as a personality type. I don't think he wants to see anyone get hurt. Except for when, he was fighting Izuku. Because,
he hurts people all the time.
Well, that's like almost entirely on the villain side, though. It's
well,
not.
Not even the villains.
Not like he's not fighting like seriously though. Like the only person he does even remotely close to is Kirishima, just because he knows Kirishima can take it.
Yeah.
What about all the times he beat up Midoriya?
What, like pre UA?
Well, yeah, but it's still. Well, I mean, like literally the first episode, he tells him to kill himself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I mean,
He grows.
you need
out
a
of
starting
it.
point.
Yeah.
But that's a really big starting point. Like that, I
That's
think
true.
my problem with him is that I will like admit that his character has grown and he has gotten a lot of development, and at the point where I am in the manga, he has grown a lot more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My opinion of him has shifted, and it started with something that you just read, Stefan.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're talking
then
about.
there's I think it was the chapter 2 weeks ago, is another like really huge turning point for him. So once you catch up, you may start to have a shift.
Maybe, but I feel like my biggest thing is that I don't think, no matter how much he's changed as a character, I don't really think he's done anything to redeem himself for everything that he's done and the way he's acted. I feel like with a character like this, you really need to have that kind of thing, like some kind of actual redemption and some kind of showing that you like, some kind of way to admit that what you did was wrong.
So here's
Or
the thing.
something like-
You might be waiting on that a while, because if we go to other
Yeah.
shonens, for example, Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta didn't get redeemed until the Buu arc.
Well, that's why I don't really like Vegeta even now. Even now, I don't
I
really
think
like
that's more of a
Vegeta.
personal problem with your taste, like what you want from your.
Which is why I'm saying
fine.
I'm not. I'm saying it's not a problem. Like it's not a problem with the actual like with the show or the manga. Like I fully admit that it's like I don't want them like to really change anything. It's just it's a personal thing with me.
And I get
fully
that.
admit
But
that.
I started to come around on like once we saw what his deal was, why he hates Izuku so much. And then
Because he thinks he's condescending. He thinks he's condescending him.
yeah, exactly, and that's fascinating to see. I think that kindness is just condescension. What kind of his viewpoint on it?
And I mean, they're also like young kids at the time, so you can understand that is the thing.
Yeah, and it's a sort of like everybody looks up to him, but yet here he thinks Midoriya is looking down on him, and all that is getting rescued by him or something. Him attempting to rescue him in the first episode or second episode. It's like, yeah, you can see how he would do it, and then but he does start to come around. And I've seen it as early as when he has to team up with Midoriya against All Might, which I thought was like awesome. Seeing those two work together and figure out how to actually get past All Might.
Yeah, that I did like, that the fact that he was just kind of like, okay, now I have to work with you because I have no other choice. But and I like how like when I like him and Kirishima together. I like what they've done. Like it was the quick little shot of him helping Kirishima study. It's like, oh, that's something nice. That's something nice he did.
It's weird. Bakugo has allies in the school. Is the thing. I think the class doesn't necessarily like him, but they respect what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
I think Kirishima respects him.
No, I meant like the general class respects what he's capable of, not necessarily that everyone likes him.
Like I think the whole class basically, except for Bakugo, the whole class respects each other and they want to help each other out and they're there for each other. It's just the fact that Bakugo's the only one of them who like really only cares about Kirishima at this point. Like he'll maybe he used to kind of respect Todoroki, but then the whole him not fighting, so he's kind of pissed at him about that. He'll never let's say pretty much because of the whole fight he kind of respects Uraraka after their fight. But after that it's just kind of
the Uraraka fight is so good. And I loved her her internship. Like, that was so perfect to see her just get into that fighting mentality.
Oh, yeah.
She recognized her weakness and is trying to work on it.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's interesting with the whole Bakugo thing about how he, like he does walk that line between hero and villain, and I think they've brought this up a few times. Like, sometimes the powers determine whether a person becomes a villain or not. One character.
I can't remember Purple Hair's name.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
Shinzo, yeah.
Yeah, like they showed him like in the early bits, like when you're first meeting him, and then of course how he looks in the
he looks really skeevy. Yeah, he looks really skeevy.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this is the big new villain that they have to fight, and then you find out, no, he's just
he's a kid with the heart of gold.
Yeah, he wants to help, it's just his power can't do it.
I do really like that. Like that's what My Hero does a lot, which is that they take these kind of like superhero ideas that you never really see in any superhero stories. Like the whole idea of like, oh, a kid wants to be a hero, but his superpower is something that you normally find in a villain. Like that guy is.
There's just kind of speaking of it, there's one recently, and I think it's one of the Batman books that's making everyone have all the feels. The Shark Kid.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's just getting bullied by these other grunts because he's like, a shark guy. And he just wants to make an honest living so he can get meds for his shark dad.
No.
But everyone's like either afraid of him or kicking him around because they just assume he's just some shit because he's a shark guy and sharks are scary.
Yeah. See, that's fascinating. I like that. I like that they explored that aspect of it. And, yeah, I'm really curious where the story's going to go with season 3.
I think you're gonna like, because what you just mentioned with the whole villain thing. I think you're gonna like season 3 because they do stuff that directly addresses that.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think the thing that I think is the most like. Very few like stuff recently I've seen that like I there's a lot of stuff I love, but there's very few stuff I look at I'm like, oh man, that's genius. Like why haven't I seen that before? Was with Todoroki, and his whole creation was born out of an arranged marriage, a quirk marriage, so that he could inherit both his mother and his father's quirks. And I'm like,
Pokemon breeding.
Yeah,
basically, it's like. You think of all the other there'll be sometimes, there's the kid of two superheroes and he has like, they have like their two powers, but they never really like bring that up or whatever. But I love the fact that, in this world, they have two people who come together all for the point of creating a child that carries their two powers. And it's like, that's a genius idea.
And how Endeavor gives no shits about the other kids.
Yeah. And then you just see how that tears that family apart, and how Endeavor is just the biggest fuckhead.
He is, but I like that they also show him in a heroic sense immediately after.
I was going to say, it does a great job because, Endeavor exists to be a parallel for Bakugo. Because Endeavor, he is an asshole, he's a terrible person, but he works as a hero, and we saw during the Sane stuff, he is damn good at his job.
Yeah.
And the people he's saving don't care if he's an asshole or not when they're getting saved by him.
Yeah, I loved how they really looked at Endeavor afterwards. Like, okay, like Todoroki standing up to his father. Interesting. He's trying to use his father to try to become a better hero. And then you actually get to see his father be a hero. That's like, all right, I'm down.
At the very least, yeah. Even if he doesn't really care as much, he at least cares enough about people to save him, which at this point Bakugo isn't really at. He's not really at the.
You hate Bakugo so much. No credit.
There's something that happened in like a recent chapter that I read that's literally what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Which I'm trying not to say because spoilers, but it's it's literally addressed, the book's literally addressing that, this is a problem Bakugo has and he needs to fix.
Yeah, but that's good storytelling then.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it is good storytelling, but that doesn't mean I have to like the character. I mean, it's the same thing Mineta works, his whole point as a character works, but we don't have to like him.
I guess that's true.
No, he doesn't work. He should be,
Yeah.
He should be expelled.
He needs to be expelled.
Aoyama has basically just been Antoine the whole time.
Yeah. Mineta has a terrible first impression, and he never really improves upon it. Because you see him a little bit during the early stuff as just one of the background characters, but then everything goes down at the end of season 1, and he's just panicking the entire time, and it's like, oh my god, I get it. I do get it that this is a scary situation, but it's the most annoying type of panicking.
What I at least like about Mineta is that everyone, there's a lot of people make fun of it, oh, your quirk's so useless, but every single time he finds a good usually it's other people, but then sometimes he will find a really good use of his quirk. So it's that's another thing that's great, is that any quirk can be useful. Which is that's one of the whole things about when people, I've seen videos are oh, the top 10 weakest quirks in My Hero Academia, and you're literally going against what the whole show is about.
It's sort of. I think Piggy Extender guy can't really do much, but
I mean, and Izuka's mother brings small objects towards her.
Do not ever talk about Izuku's mom like that ever again.
Yeah. The woman's wonderful otherwise. I loved her watching the tournament on TV and getting into it.
She's keeps getting close to dying from heart attacks.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
didn't realize.
I also, what I like about her is just her design. I like how when she was younger, she was svelte and looked good and all that, but age took its toll. I like that aspect of it. She did not stay the same woman the entire time. She looks her age.
I saw a fan comic because it's been told in other stuff that obviously the parents know each other very well, as parents are off to do. I saw a funny fan comic of Izuku's mom and Bakugo's mom in high school.
Oh man, I'd be fascinated to meet Bakugo's parents.
And Bakugo's mom is such a hothead and trying to get into fights with everyone, and Izuku's mom is just the one dragging her to school all the time.
You do see Bakugo's parents. I don't
Dude,
know if it's
spoilers.
Well, you see his mom.
You see both of them.
Right.
I mean, I assume this is the type of thing you'd eventually see parents of. So to me, that isn't too much of a spoiler.
As long as you don't understand the context, you see his mom. Yeah. That's not really a spoiler.
I could just imagine it being it's Parents' Day, that type of thing. For all I know, that's what it could be. So I don't consider that a huge spoiler.
We won't go into any details. Just
oh god, then they have an arc where it's like Hey Arnold, one of the kids doesn't have parents.
Oh god. Oh man, I don't know where they're going to go next, but I'm excited to see it. It's just especially
April.
What's that?
April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Based on what the volume, what the next chapters are that we think that it's going to be, it's basically nonstop action.
Holy crap.
The whole way through.
That's
all the way to the end.
That's something else.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. That's why I'm like. I understand why this is probably only going to be a 13 episode season, because a lot happens, and you're like, okay, I'm full. Bring on the movie, whatever that is, whatever. That's
I
gonna
can't
be.
wait for the movie.
Yeah, I wonder how well they'll do the movie, because
It's going to be one of those. It's going to look really nice, but it's going to be like filler, essentially.
yeah, it'll be our actual filler.
I mean,
but
even the One Piece movies are good, and they're not really like full on substance.
One Piece have gotten good. They did not start good.
They did not
That's
start
fair.
good, and One Piece is set up very differently to where, oh, this just happened between these other arcs because island hopping.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair.
I think the two movies before they started having Oda help out himself that I actually enjoyed of One Piece was the one that whereas they were as part of a race. I think I forget the name of the actual movie, but they had some sort of race going on with the different ships, and it just felt like a longer episode of the series, which is basically all I wanted. Is like, okay, this is fun. This captures that same spirit. And then the other one I really enjoyed was Baron Amatsuri, and that one's just wild because of how dark it gets. Like, I was shocked watching that thing. Like, it was a very different style, but it was also just like really messed up in places. I don't know if you've seen that one, TJ.
No, I've only ever seen the dubbed ones.
Oh, okay.
I would like to see the other ones, but I'm not sure how to find them.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they would be in a legal sense. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
Uh-huh. It's been so long too for me, so I'm not sure where I'd send you. But yeah, and then of course we also have the video game.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
That looks okay. I mean, we don't know much about it, and it seems like a typical anime fighter.
Yeah, I'm not exactly in the mood for the. It essentially looks like the same type of fighter that Burning Blood was, and that wasn't great.
Yeah, get back to us in 30 years when Arc System gets to it.
There you go. We just need our My Hero Academias or something like that.
I want every franchise to have a
Arc System
Dragon
works
Ball
game, yeah.
Fighters.
Yeah. If anime fighters are either should be like the Ultimate Ninja Storm games or like your fighters. Because Ultimate Ninja Storm is basic as all get out, but boy is it entertaining to see them recreate the fights from Naruto.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get better ones as the series goes on and they kind of figure out how to balance gameplay with their abilities. The first ones of any franchise are almost never good.
Very true.
Dragon Warrior, anyone?
I was thinking just Johnny's recent Clash of Ninja review. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even realize it was that basic. Holy crap.
Believe it.
Man, this guy sure says believe it a lot.
Johnny, you have no idea.
All right, so I guess obviously we know the spoilers, but I think it'd be interesting to ask Derek what he thinks is going to happen going into season 3.
Ooh.
What it is basically the way that the finale of the season happened, and it's just that really tense scene between Tamura and Izuku.
I love that scene so much.
It is.
It's one of the rare scenes, although I like preferable in Japanese, because the English actor for Tomura does a good enough job. I don't like how high pitched and squeaky he kind of gets.
Yeah, I don't. Eric Vale isn't the best Shigaraki, but I do agree that the Japanese voice actor does a phenomenal job.
Oh, okay. I still felt the menace though, and I enjoyed that scene. It's just because I was expecting, they're going shopping and Tamura's just going to vent a little bit, and then that happened. I'm like, holy crap! Like I was expecting something to happen, like, oh yeah, it's going to be just Midoriya and Uraraka together.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
happy-go-lucky times.
It's like, nope. So I think what we're really going to see is just him forming his villains group and basically his next attack, whatever that might be. School-wise, what they'll get into, I'm not sure what they have next for school-wise, because that's the other thing that kind of shocks me. They're still in their first year. They still have, like, this series can go on for a while as they go through the summer vacation, the rest of the school year, the summer vacation, going back and repeating
Beach
again.
episode.
Exactly. Oh, of course we got to have a beach episode. I don't know when that happens, but it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
You probably forgot, but I know for sure at the end of season 2 does say what the beginning of season 3 is going to be.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have forgotten that. So
I won't say, just in case, if you want to be surprised for yourself. But yeah, they've mentioned what's going to happen.
Do you know what I want though?
What's that?
There were extra pages in the manga that influenced the second ending of season 2. I want spin-off fantasy version of Hiroaka.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I thought I read somewhere that said that the third OVA was going to be a full episode based off of that ending.
Yes,
the fantasy
please.
ending.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
I hope that's true, because it's like, although it's still a peace sign, I think is the best of all the intro and endings. I love that song so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl one, the one with all the girls, I really like that song too.
Yeah, you would.
Isn't that right, Minetta, Stefan?
But it's cute.
Oh goodness, yeah, it's oh man, it really is great to have just a quality shonen again to watch, because I've heard that One Piece kind of got bogged down by filler to a major degree.
Yeah,
Well, you basically just don't even bother watching the anime for One Piece anymore. It gets grandfathered in due to the weekly ongoing stuff, but that's doing the show and the series just no favors at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I strictly watch I watch parts that I like from the manga in like parts that I want to see animated. Like I cannot watch multiple episodes in a row because the pacing is just terrible.
Yeah,
And
the
that's a
pacing is
shame, because
garbage.
early on I thought One Piece had some of the stronger filler in there where they were able to balance everything out, but then something happened
No,
apparently.
One Piece is pure, no filler.
No, I mean, still, I didn't want the filler, but when it was in there, I thought like they captured the characters well enough, so I was willing to go with it. Granted, at that point, I wasn't going week to week. I had like 150 plus episodes to get through, so it was like the filler didn't seem like it stuck around too long. It wasn't like the days of the end of Naruto where I was going week to week waiting for what was to become Shippuden to start and being like, oh my god.
100 episodes of filler.
Exactly.
Curry of life.
And then I'm like, oh, sweet. That I kept telling myself the entire time. I was like, okay, when it finally gets to what the manga was doing, we'll have no filler whatsoever. We'll get to it so quickly. We'll get all kinds of really good stuff with no filler. Immediately, it gets into Dragon Ball Z syndrome, where it sends episodes powering up Naruto.
Dragon Balls.
Exactly. As soon as that happened, like, nope, I am done. I quit Naruto on the spot.
Filler episodes can work, they
totally.
work in the sense that because they work in the sense if it's not just constant filler, and if you care about the characters, and you want to see more even if nothing happens. That's why I really like the two OVAs. It's in the grand scheme of things, they're filler, they don't really count to anything, but it's fun seeing the characters doing some extra stuff, especially at the second.
As we saw
This
with
show in
Suyu,
particular-
is that they need to just be sparse and they need to be gently sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm.
More than
This show in
shoved
particular is one of those shows where the filler can actually work.
Yeah, but
Where
I
you can,
prefer them to
if you,
keep this
if you find your
method
spots
of
for
season
it.
telling. Yeah.
No, they've basically confirmed between at this point between Hiroaka, Attack on Titan, and so forth. It's clear that the studios just figured out, okay, week by week just isn't working. Let's just do seasons because people prefer that anyway.
Mm-hmm. And we don't have to kill our animators. It's win-win.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. We know how good the show looks right now. Think about what it's going to look like in a movie. Oh my god.
That'll be nice.
The fight, all the tournament fights. Just think about
that
with
shot,
a movie budget.
That final shot with Todoroki and Midoriya going all out against each other. My God, the colors in that shot.
Oh yeah.
All the budget into this one shot.
Pretty much. You could just
The
see money
goggles, they do
flying
nothing.
I made this joke. There's a quarter of every episode is just nothing but flashbacks. So that's how they're able to afford like all these like episodes, because a quarter of each episode is just flashbacks. Which then I said that as a joke, and then when I started reading the manga, and I'm like, oh shit, there are flashbacks in the manga too.
I mean, I don't mind flashbacks. They give us the context and whatnot. But it is kind of funny to me in retrospect that no matter who won, I mean, we saw what happened with Todoroki against Bakugo. If Midoriya had actually won against Todoroki, he wouldn't have been able to fight Bakugo. He would be too destroyed.
I mean, we never know. Like that, I think that's always like the cool thing. Like when you think about like, oh, the only reason this person won is because of this and this. But then it's like, but if they did this, then they would have won. Like, oh, if Bakugo fought a fully powered Midoriya or a fully powered Todoroki, then he would definitely lose. Like that's like what the whole, like that's what the show always like mentions and talks about. So it's always like something like interesting to think about. But I really like how like, that he didn't go full out, because it's like, oh, Bakugo doesn't actually kick. He just wants to fight. He wants to fight him at full power just to prove that he can fight him at full power. But he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that, or what have you. And I like that he let himself, like just like how Midoriya let himself lose for Todoroki. Todoroki let himself lose for himself. And Bakugo got angry, and that was funny. Think of this as a scar. He's so scary.
Yeah. I love that little moment of All Might just giving hugs to each of the winners. Well, that he can.
That when he gives Tokiyami the hug.
Oh, that's precious. I want my little bird boy to get a hug.
Should have gave Dark Shadow a hug too. I like Dark Shadow when he's in the day, like when he's like in the light, because he's just like really nervous and just like come on, man, what are we gonna do? Come on, I don't want to do this
right outside.
Okay, fine.
The sun, natural light.
For the record, I ship Bird Boy and Invisigirl.
Well, sure.
No, I like what is it? I like Invisigirl and who is it? The one Tail Guy.
Oh yeah,
because they always talk with each other.
I love how they freak out. I was like, "Oh right, she's actually naked right now." Oh god.
Yeah.
Wait, when the teacher touched her accidentally, she's like, "You pervert!"
Oh god, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't look. You know I can't see you, right? I think well, obviously the only real ship right now in context of the series is obviously Izuku and Ochako.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next closest would probably be Momonoki. If only because they have some kind of chemistry together in previous stuff, but
yeah,
I guess, but still, like that's not even.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a stretch, but that's whatever. Like I said, I like how this show plays with expectations. Like I did not expect, especially with the tournament arc. Once the tournament arc, the actual fight started happening, I could kind of tell who was going to win what. But before that, with like Izuku winning I keep switching his name. Like I called him Izuku, I've called him Midoriya, I have not called him Deku yet. I've not. So when Deku,
there you go,
wins the race, and it's like, oh sweet, he did it. Oh god, he just put the biggest target on his back, and how he has to try.
Everyone turns on him.
Exactly. That was so good.
I love that shot when everyone just turns all demonic and look at him, and he's just stuck there.
Like, what have I done?
Like, oh god.
I think Ryan posted a tweet where he had the panel from the manga, and he was like, "Yep, that was perfect." And I think not long after that, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna read this."
Yeah.
You know, that just reminded me of another character that I love, Hatsume.
Oh yeah, support girl.
I love
Which
Hatsume.
Which girl?
Support girl.
Oh yeah,
the girl with all the weapons.
Yeah, no, she's great.
She gets better too.
Oh, that's awesome. Like I like that little again. You get these little arcs for each character where they're slowly getting better, and you can see them improve and whatnot. Also, speaking of like things that Ryan posts, I was so happy to finally get context for the principal laughing like a bad man.
Yeah. I love that gif.
That is so good.
I swear, if he doesn't turn out to be the traitor, I will be shocked. Because
I don't know. I don't know if I know what you're talking about. It might have been brought up in season 2. I'm not sure.
It is because they're trying to figure out how.
The villains keep getting the drop on them.
Right.
No, well, specifically, they don't know how the villains found out about the USJ.
Right.
Universal
right.
Studios Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great one.
Mario World.
So yeah, I mean that's been an underlying plot for the series where they're like there
Right,
has
I
to
forgot
be
about that one.
yeah there has to be someone who gave them a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like they like the show and mainly the show has done everything to point like a target on him, and I'm like, it's got to be him. Like if the show has
now
been
you're playing into its trap. It's like it's too obviously him
I was
now.
about to say the show is smart enough that it probably isn't him, but they've done like so much pointing at him that I feel like something's gonna happen. I feel like if it's not going to be him, something's going to happen and related to him. Like he's gonna end up doing something that like makes it seem like he's
True.
like what's the word? God, why am I forgetting the term?
Talking about red herring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, goodness.
But his whole fight with when he's using the crane was amazing.
Oh yeah. And I like how season 2 established like, okay, here is our main villain. This is what we're working towards. This confrontation, and this is what happened to All Might, that he can't maintain his form at all times. And yeah, I think that's I like when you can see this is the end point. How we're gonna get there, I don't know, but there's the end point.
I love that too. That already in season 2, they've already said, this is your goal. This is the main villain. Like I was like, oh god, are they gonna wait until like season 5 until we finally find out what it is? But nope, season 2. Here you go. It reminds me because I know they've said a lot that they take a lot of inspiration from there's a lot of inspiration from like a lot with Western shows, Avatar, Star Wars, and then.
There's a ton of Star Wars references.
like almost every location is based on a Star Wars name.
That's awesome.
I can't believe I didn't realize Dagobah until you pointed out to me.
Well, that and Tatooine Station.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Gran Torino just being Yoda.
He's Yoda.
Oh yeah, totally Yoda.
And All for One kind of has some Darth Vader-esque.
A little bit, yeah, because he's got like the, and I mean Derek already saw it at the end of season 2, but he kind of has like that respirator.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also the Emperor because he's like the guy in the shadows controlling everything too.
Yeah. Oh man, and that reminds me of all the guys they send out and that fight All Might has at the end of season 1. Holy crap!
Oh yeah,
just seeing him fight the Nomu was like, oh, so good.
Plus Ultra.
And of course, you say run goes with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it does. Personally, I like the one that's like really heavy snare drum in the beginning.
I think I know
Which one
what
is
you're talking
that?
about.
I can't remember what the title of the song is.
Well, like what scene is it played in?
They play it at the end of the race.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I prefer that one over Run.
Oh yeah, I also like a Hero A, the rap kind of thing.
That's the same one.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's like a few different versions of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that the one that just goes My Hero?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
That's
a
a
few
great
different
song.
versions of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that plays when they're coming out in costume for the first time.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, you all look so cool!
So
and
obvious.
then he sees Deku and he sees like it's so obvious.
Yes.
I love how because I don't like when he puts on the hood because it looks like a bunny to me.
Oh yeah, I hate when he has the hood on.
But when he takes it off and he just has like the smile mask, I love that smile mask. I think it's a really cool look.
Sorry, he looks better now.
Yeah, because he doesn't put the hood on.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw like when Bakugo like ripped off half of it. I was like, oh, thank God.
It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how they always find an excuse to take off his mask
or Iron Man. Yeah, or Iron Man, just so you can just see the actor's face.
Yeah.
Well, I say more in terms like because something like that and Spider-Man, yeah, so you can see actor face. But I think more of like with Captain America, because you can see his face, but it's so goofy looking. You're just like, get that out of here. We want the full face.
No, that's like that's like the one thing I don't like about the live action movies for superheroes. They keep finding ways to make sure their mask or whatever comes off because the actors want to be on screen.
Yeah, well, it's that. I think there's research like if you see the person's face, you get more of an emotional connection to them.
Yeah, but it's also one of those you start noticing the trend, and it's like, can Captain America just have his thing on the entire time?
I mean, you don't want to look at Chris Evans' handsome face. What's wrong with you, Ryan?
Yeah, Stefan. Why don't you want to look at Chris Evans' handsome face?
I do want to look at Chris Evans' handsome face. That's why I want the mask off.
No, I think it works a little better for Marvel since they don't have most of them don't bother with secret identities. And if I remember Spider-Man Homecoming, I think he kept the mask on most of the time.
Let's not talk about that movie.
I know you don't like it, TJ.
Well, I mean, that's also an interesting thing about bringing it back to MHA is that essentially no one has secret identities in this universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense because it's
all
about
Might
fame.
kind of does, but yeah.
I do think, yeah, it's really interesting about with the whole, like, after they defeat Stain and then the police officer comes to them, it's like, yeah, since that's kind of illegal, we kind of have to make sure that you don't take credit for it. So it's kind of like this weird thing of, like, so wouldn't that be considered self-defense? Like,
I mean, technically Ida instigated it.
Yeah.
But Ida also instigated it while he was about to kill another hero. So
that's why it's a gray area, and they just didn't want to even bother with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I can tell, like they're like, oh, they could probably fight it if they wanted to, but considering their position,
even then, if Ida was intervening to save someone, he wasn't allowed to do that because he's not a licensed hero.
Yeah, and he very clearly ran off.
That is
an
an interesting
internship.
Yeah.
And that is still like an interesting like whole thing about this world where it's like, oh yeah, you ran off, like you weren't supposed to do that, but it's like still that wouldn't that mean that like it, no matter what, no matter if it's right or wrong, like you still want to save like you're still trying to save someone, and there's kind of that whole thing. Like I would say, but then like later they do bring up like the whole idea of how the kids are going to be able to save like people, but that's like probably like season 4 or what have you. So there's nothing to worry about right now.
I'm sure there'll be some good stuff coming. I'm just looking forward to it. April can't come soon enough.
That and the Persona 5 anime at the same time.
Yeah.
Should be a good season because that's the start of the spring season, isn't it, Ryan?
Yes, it is. Spring is April.
Nice.
I've looked up AniChart lately, and those are like the 2 main ones to watch.
Okay. Yeah, I can actually watch the Persona 5 animation because I finished the game, so that's nice.
Hooray! Are you ready to watch the adventures of not Akira Kurisu but Hanama Miya for some reason?
Yeah, I don't know why they changed it because I looked up the canon name. Was like, okay, according to the manga, the name's Akira Kurisu. Okay, I'll go with that. And then he was like, no, it's Ren Amamiya. Damn it!
Akira is a better name than Ren.
Make up your mind, Aniplex.
Oh goodness, but yeah,
Oh God.
It's interesting going along, following along now with anime in general, and it's like, okay, yeah, we'll just put My Hero Academia along with everything else, and we're good to go.
Anything else left to really discuss, I guess?
I think I'm pretty tapped.
Yeah, I'm good.
And Steven just dropped it.
Perfect. All right, screw him.
Okay.
TJ, you want to end this off?
Thank you for joining us for this discussion of Boku no My Hero Academia. Thanks for joining us, Ryan and Derek. Okay, bye.
Bye.
No, wait, I'm editing this. I'm getting the final word here. Fuck Bakugo. Okay, bye.